Hello, my friends.
Hello.
Rather than thinking of us as non-physical, just think of us as your friends. All we are doing is inhabiting Paul's body at this moment in time to assist in using his vocal cords to express the teachings that we wish to convey. Very much in the same way that your spirit inhabits your body, and it's about finding that connection, that true connection between the physical and the non-physical element of yourselves, and in finding that balance that works for you, and remembering that you're all individuals, so what is right for you might not be correct for somebody else. But it's finding about your own vibration, it's finding about the elements of understanding that really resonate with yourself in everything that you do. So often you will find that people will say, well, just get in touch with your spirit, and yes, that is true. But you also have to remember that there's two parts of you. As we have said, it's the non-physical and the physical. So you can't ignore one element of it. It's about bringing the two together. And in bringing those two together is when the true magic happens. That's when the unfoldment of all your dreams and desires start to manifest within your lives, because you're bringing about that connection and that energy and that love and that understanding and that expansion from your true self, your spirit self, into your physical existence, that then begins to unfold everything for you. And sure, there will be wobbles that take place along the line, but rather than seeing those wobbles as something to panic about, embrace it, for it's all about light and shadow. It's all about the contrast, and it's understanding that that contrast is there to help guide you forward in your lives. It's there for a reason. It's not there to test you. It's just there to help you experience what the physical can bring to the non-physical element. Because as non-physical, you are pure love. You are understanding. So you do not have these elements of rage, of hatred, or any of those negative aspects. It's through the physical existence that those manifest themselves. And it's allowing yourself to use your everyday experiences to create a stronger connection to your non-physical, to the love aspect of yourself, and allowing that to come through and to say, yes, these are the experiences that are going through my life at the moment. But it isn't a hurdle, it isn't an obstacle. It's actually almost like a teaching for you to progress to the next stage. It's allowing yourself to use those everyday lessons to unfold into a deeper understanding of what it is that you so desire, what it is that you wish to do, where it is that you wish to go with your life. We often talk about pathways and having an end goal, and that's absolutely a wonderful aim to have. But don't become fixated on the end goal. It's all about living your life in the present moment, and that present moment is where you create your future. So if you're creating your future in this present moment, and you're starting off with a negative thought and negative energy, then everything else that unfolds from that will also be of that bias. Whereas if you choose to allow yourself to come from a point of balance and of love and of positivity, then you find that that will unfold itself into everything else that you do. I'm sure you've all heard of the law of attraction, and it is so very true. Because as you think, that is what you draw to you. As you behave, that is what you draw to you. And it's all well and good saying, well, I believe this, but if it isn't really a strong part of yourself, then the default is back to some of those negative thoughts that are in the background of your mind. So be very much aware of what you're thinking, of how you're behaving, of how you're, rather than reacting to situations, consider responding. And sometimes not responding immediately, but giving yourself time to think. And we're not saying do not display anger or feelings of hurt or anything like that, but don't dwell in those areas, because it is those negative energies and emotions that will drain you and that will hold you captive to those events that have already taken place. And those events that have taken place, you refer to, they're the past. And it's called the past because that's where it should be, in the past. And we've already said that your future is created in this present moment. So if you're anchored to the past experiences, past emotions, past connections, then you're not allowing yourself to move forward with the openness to all the beauty that's out there. And believe us when we say there is beauty in everything. Even when you may be experiencing the hardest situations, there's always beauty of something to be found, just to help lift you, just to help lift your energy, just to help fill your heart with that renewed love and openness and acceptance of your true wonder. Because you are all wonderful, magnificent, unique human beings. So honor that, respect that part of yourself. Don't compare yourself to somebody else. It might be that you turn around and say, do you know what, I like that individual as a role model, and I'd like to some of their philosophies and how they live their life. And you may incorporate some aspects of that within your own life, within your own living, within your own way of thinking. But realize that you're your own unique individual. You have your own true inner strength. That is just, if you could see yourselves in the same way that we see you, and if you felt the true power and energy of your spirit that brings that into your physical existence, you would also be in awe of us. As you look at the open sky at night with all the stars and planets, and you may look at all the beautiful flowers and the great places of interest around the world with a great awe, also look at yourselves. People talk about the wonders of the world, the old 7 wonders of the world and the new wonders of the world. Well, every single one of you is a wonder of the world. You are magnificent. You are an expansive beauty. And that expansive beauty is ever growing because your spirit is infinite. And if you accept that aspect and accept that openness and leave the past experiences in the past, learn from them, grow from them, but don't allow them to anchor you into where you used to be. Where you used to be was fine in that moment, but where you are now is what's important, and how you're going to allow yourself to unfold your life in a much more abundant manner. And a lot of the times we say it is about connecting to that spirit that then allows that to manifest into the physical. And we say to do that through meditation. Meditation is a wonderful thing to do, but it does take practice, although it is quite easy to get into. But also maybe finding something else that you can resonate with. Maybe going for a walk in nature. Maybe just finding working in your garden. Something where you can lose yourself. Because in effect that is what meditation does. You're losing yourself and you're removing yourself away from thinking about all the everyday mundane things of your life, any negative experiences that have taken place, and you're connecting to a more peaceful element of yourself. So find that thing that works for you. And maybe it'd be a combination of meditation, walking in wildlife, being with animals, being in your garden, doing a puzzle. Because whilst you're doing that, that is what you're focusing on. And in those moments, the energy and the love from your spirit will play a much bigger part into your physical existence. And it creates that energy that becomes more liberating, and therefore creates a more positive and a more expansive and a more abundant future for yourselves. So be who you are. Realize that you are a duality of both physical and non-physical. And take care of both parts of that. Take care of what it is that you so desire. If you have dreams, if you have visions of what you wish to achieve, what you wish to do, what you love doing, then allow yourself to follow those. Because if you stifle these things, you're really stifling your own life. You're stifling the energies. You're stifling the calling of your spirit. And really what you're saying is that you're not worthy of doing what it is that you so desire to do. When the reality is, the truth is, that you are the opposite to that. You're all worthy. You're all worthy of greatness, and showing that greatness that is your true state of existence. And you may well find that the more and more that you allow that loving, positive spirit energy to play a part in your physical life, that people will notice a difference in yourself. People will notice how you radiate more. People will realize that there's something different about you. They may well ask you, what is it you're doing? What's your secret? And you can just say, I'm being me. I'm allowing myself to be me. I'm allowing myself to live my life how I choose to live it. I'm allowing myself to experience the joys in life, the joyous things that I love to do. So even when everybody else is in a position of maybe panic or sadness, we're not saying that you are not connected to them in an understanding way, but you are not allowing yourself to dwell in that same place. And in doing that for yourselves and allowing yourselves to continue to shine in every aspect of what you do, you're giving others permission to do likewise. You're becoming the beacons of life. You're becoming the beacons that help guide other people forward. But the beginning is always with yourself, always allowing yourself to be who you want to be. And that also means that you need to accept yourself as you are, without criticism, without questioning in a negative way, but rather, yes, acknowledging maybe some changes that you need to make, but you make that acknowledgement in a loving manner, without a harshness, and as we say, without that criticism that then draws you back and holds you back from moving forward. So you will probably gather from this that everything is about allowing. Everything is about you taking control of your life and allowing yourself to live a life of freedom, allowing yourself to do the things that you wish to do, allowing yourself to experience all the joys in life, and having dreams and desires of owning the world, almost owning the universe, because you have the ability to connect to it, because you have the ability to feel the vibration, emotion and energy of all that you wish and all that you want to be. But you're bringing that into your present moment, in the realization that it is your present moment that creates your future. Paul told this story the other day about his mother, who was seriously ill over most of the part of her life. She went through a lot of operations, and she had a lot of medication that she took. And she was brought up in the Orthodox Church as well as a spiritual church with spiritualism. So she was very much also aware of the non-physical and contacted them and understood the teachings that came from there. But she would often say to Paul, I know life is meant to be a struggle. I know we're meant to struggle. And Paul would always say to her, it isn't. Life is not meant to be a struggle. The struggle comes if you allow yourself to be anchored to those elements that take place within your life, rather than allowing yourself the fullness to experience and look at the joy and the beauty. So if anybody ever says to you, oh, life is meant to be a struggle, life is depressing, life is... So everything in this world at the moment is very negative, don't agree with them. You might want to be polite and say nothing. But we would suggest that you may want to just politely withdraw yourself from their energies and just reaffirm to yourself that actually this is a beautiful world. There's a lot of beautiful things happening. It is about allowing yourself to see them, allowing those beautiful aspects of this world to actually manifest themselves into your life because of the way that you are, the way that you think, the energies that you have, and how you take things forward in life. But always from this present moment, or the next moment, or the next. And remembering that that journey that you're on, your own individual journey, is all you're responsible for. Yes, there's times if you're bringing up children that you'll be responsible for them, but teaching them that as they get older and older and older and older, that they actually start taking responsibility for themselves and their own decisions. And then letting them go through, letting them go free to do what they so desire, even if that doesn't quite accord to your own thoughts and wishes. But that's part of the human self. But as we say, allow yourself to live a life of freedom. But that also means you need to allow others the same to do so too. And as you step along your pathway, with each step forward, find that balance in that moment. Enjoy the beauty that surrounds you before you take the next step forward, and do the same there. And if you take your life and your journey and your progression and your expansion with just small steps, continually moving forward, all of a sudden you realize how far along your pathway that you are. And it might be that you had an end goal, and then you get so far along that pathway, and then you have another goal. And in those moments, allow yourself to follow what it is that resonates most strongly with you. Don't feel that, well, that was my goal, so I must stay there. because all you're doing is creating a conflict within yourself, and that conflict creates an energy that actually becomes very disturbing within your life. And whilst you may continue on to that goal and things may be good, just think if you had have listened to that little inner guidance, that little voice that said, that little spark that came up that said, at this moment in time, this is where you need to go, this is what you want to do, this is what I want to do. Allow yourself to explore there. And if that takes you to a completely different place, the original goal, then so be it. Life is about the experience. It's about feeling that joy within all of life. And if something no longer resonates with you, something no longer fits with you, then allow it to let it go. Allow it to no longer be a part of you that fully manifests itself within all that you do. We often say that in this moment in time, as the sizes that you are, if someone gave you the clothes you wore as a 5-year-old, you just look at that and say, do you know what, that wouldn't fit me. So you just put it to one side without a thought, without anything, without holding on to it to say, no, this is who I am, this is what I need at this time. Those clothes were suitable for you as a 5-year-old, but not where you are now. So always be appropriate to where you are in this moment. And again, we've said that it's letting go of any anchors that keep you tied to the past, and allowing that liberation to be in everything that you do. For you will find that with that freedom, with that liberation, becomes this energy of wonderment, this energy of real sudden impulses to do things that will guide you forward. And that guidance is always there because it is a natural part of you. It is your true nature. It is your true state of existence. All you're doing is bringing it into this physical world. So allow yourselves to be who you are and who you want to be. Visualize it, feel it, and then allow your inner voice to guide you towards that. And if in doing things with joy, in finding the joys in your life, in finding the joys in even the everyday mundane things that you do, creates such a different energy. If you say you're in a relationship and normally one person will cook the dinner and the other person will clear up, if you find yourself cooking the dinner and then also clearing up, rather than thinking angst about it, well, why aren't they doing this? Because all that's doing is just creating an unuseful energy within yourself. You might initially have that thought that says to yourself, do you know what? I'm going to enjoy clearing up as well. And take that same attitude into everything that you do, into every experience. Find the joy in it, the everyday things. Because if you can do that, it becomes habit forming. And the more habit forming it comes, you then naturally go into that state of thinking, of existing, of being. And then your vibrations will become of such a level that when you have your little wobble and you dip into that more denser, more baser, more negative energies of thought or experience, you won't want to stay there quite so long, because of where you generally are on that higher vibration, on that higher understanding, on that greater connection to your loving self, that expansive self, that self that is filled with joy. So everything is about allowing, about being, about you as an individual. And as we say, a most beautiful and unique and worthy individual, worthy of all the best in life. Believe it. Feel that resonating within yourself. And those energies will create a life that you find just full of great wonder.